Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. Well, Sars and SWAT has been up and running, been so many reactions, so many things have come out of it, and for once we've not been hearing the presidency speaking. When I talk about presidency, we mean the likes of Loretta Noche has been quiet, very silent for these few hours, few days, simply probably because candidacy was rejected, and of course we've not been hearing Shehu Gaba talk. He has been generally very calm. Of course, the one we all seem to know so much that always seem to talk every time is Adeshina, Femi Adeshina. Oh, well, finally he has spoken up and he has this to say. He's practically telling Nigerians to please do this. Honestly, it's getting out of hand. Nigerians are really at it now, and it looks like they have no intention of sparing anyone, especially among the media aides to the presidency. But before we go into the news proper and further analysis, we do like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adeshina, has stated that he's been receiving courses after a false report of him being against the NSAS protest went viral on social media. In a lengthy article titled An Enemy of the People, which is shared as at October, Femi Adeshina insisted that he has never advised the president to ignore the NSAS protests rocking the nation. The presidential spokesperson further stated that he was never given a chance to respond to the claim. Well, let's hear what he said. He said, for well over 1 week, the polity has been suffused with what President Muhammad Buhari describes as genuine concern and agitations by Nigerians about the excessive use of force, in some cases extrajudicial killings and wrongful conduct by men of the Nigerian police force. And in that period of time too, I have had strident effort being made to position me as the enemy of the people. Very serious effort by mean people who are simply out to generate hatred and animals against other people for no other reason than luciferous and pernicious feeling of small satisfaction. As a year two undergraduate at the then University of as a year two undergraduate at the then University of Ife in 1982, one of the tests recommended for us in English literature class was Enemy of the Public by the Norwegian writer Henrik Isben. I remember traveling from Ile-Ife then to the popular Oduduwa bookstores in Ibadan to procure the book, along with some other recommended texts. The term enemy of the people originated in the Roman times as hostis public publicus, which if translated directly means public enemy, someone acting against the larger group, indeed against the society. Get appointed to serve in an elevated public position in Nigeria and you automatically face some odium ne opprobrium. He has joined those who have come to steal our money. He has come to earn fat salary. He is going to be taken care of from the public treasury, while we have to slave and toil before we earn a living. He will be talking to us from a high house, Haiti and Huffy, while we look like grasshoppers before him. They never care what you wear and where you were coming from. Whether you came down several notches in your income in order to serve your country does not matter to them. Do you lobby for the job or not? It does not matter. The moment you get appointed into the government position, you are poised to become an enemy of the people. The first salvo came on Sunday from a suicide fake journalist who piles his trade with an online record People's Gazette. He published that President Muhammad Buhari was to have approved the dissolution of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad as SARS the previous Friday, but had been prevailed upon not to do so by a spokesperson, Femi Adesina, that happens to be me. And the information was coming to me as a piece of virulent, hateful news. Again, the hatchet job masquerading as a news item added that I convinced the president not to ever surrender to sovereignty of government to Twitter warriors, whatever that means. Further, it said because of my anti-people convictions, I had issued a statement against the NSAS protesters, which had received wide condemnation from the general public. Several falsities stood out from the supposed news story. One, what the reporter claimed never happened, that I prevailed on President Muhammad Buhari not to scrap SARS must have existed only in his fecund but diseased imagination. What truth did that information rest on? None. Was I or anybody else spoken with to authenticate the supposed information? Not at all. It clearly failed the test of objectivity, which every good news story must pass. Then the report said I had issued a statement against NSAS protest, which had received wide condemnation. Where? When? How? But by that date, I had not even said a word, either privately or publicly, against the public marches. And any decent journalist would have checked and quoted the date and the content of such statement if it ever existed. But the journalist from hell simply published lies against me, not obeying dictates of the noble profession. And because we are in the age of digital media characterized by riot and recklessness, people began to share the evil and fake story. The plot to turn me into an enemy of the people was in full motion. I issued a rejoinder to fake story by an equally fake reporter, reporting all his claims. A number of people believed me, but an equally large number of people refused to believe and continued to share and purvey the evil report. Why not? Some people revel in the merely believing the worst about other people, and no superior argument would ever have convinced them. Of course, Barabbas, the murderer, was preferred against Jesus in the Bible days. Funny. Let me tell you about my minimal contact with non-credible, notorious, and peddler of fake reports who now publishes the online People's Gazette. He used to work for Premium Times, which is one of the more professional online newspapers we have. Over the past 5 years since I came to serve in government, he had called me up a number of times in the attempt to balance stories. I would give him the side of the government, particularly the presidency. But whenever the stories came out, he would have twisted them to serve his whims and other predetermined ends. But what would be published would in no way look like what I even told him. Yet he would credit such to me. He did it once. I thought it was happenstance. He did it the second time. I thought it was coincidence. When he did it the third time, I then knew it was deliberate enemy action. I called up his editor, Musikiliu Mojid, and pleaded that whenever his medium had anything to confirm or cross check with me, he should please send a saner and more professional journalist. Is that same raggedly reporter that has now become the publisher of People's Gazette, a veritable danger to today and tomorrow, now a publisher. Shame. Online journalism takes all sorts: the thief, the liar, the pimp, the pen, the assassin, and all sorts of villains at the touch of a button. They just attempt to set on fire, they set out to incinerate names, reputations, society, the country, and if possible, humanity itself. The glory, journalism is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty fallen? There was yet another attempt to position me as an enemy of the public on Wednesday. This week, that's as at he was talking about on Wednesday, that's at August 6th, that's this year. I had appeared on Sunrise Daily, the early morning program of Channels Television. Topic of discussion was rally the previous day, organized by Revolution Now Group. That rally meant to pendo the normal order of society, attracted just a handful of people who showed clean pair of heels the moment security agents who showed clean pair of heels the moment the security agents approached. I was asked by the presidency felt I was asked how the presidency felt about the rally. I said it was a non-event, a mere irritation caused by a handful of lily-livered people who vanished as soon as they saw the police. But on Wednesday, a hidden hostile hand, son of perdition, took a video of the interview, edited it, and made it seem as if I was reacting to the extent of NSAS protests. All hell broke loose online, with people mounting maledictions and curses against me. Well, such things have way of returning to the sender. So it didn't bother me. A cause shall not alert without a cause, says the book of books. I'm happy that Channels Television was professional enough to issue a prompt clarification. It published that what was being made to look like a fresh interview had been done well over 2 months earlier. But thanks. Those who wanted to believe the television station, a large number chose not to and bombarded my phone lines with curses. and messages from the pit of hell. Well, if anybody chooses to belong to that neither region, it is a matter of choice. Talking of bombardment of my phone lines, it had begun on Sunday. A hateful mind had published my two numbers on Twitter, urging people to troll me. They called till the phone batteries went dead. Mom was the word from me. He was reviled, but responded not. That is what the good book said of my master, but one I tried to pattern my life after, so I said not a word to any of the callers. The fury of hateful calls was pestering out on Wednesday when the doctored video was launched. All hell broke loose again. My two lines began to ring simultaneously, all bearing hateful messages laced with threats. Still, Mom was the word from me. No reveling for reveling, just as my master would have done, we try to walk in his steps despite our occasional failings and mere mortals. Now, what do I think people try to demonize those in government and bring them down? Many reasons. Evil hearts. The heart of man is evil and desperately wicked. If you are in my form of elevated position, they would have loved you to see you fall. Man is in a fallen state, and the more they see you bite the dust, the happier they are. As spokesperson to the president, they have told themselves they were lying before you, opened your mouth to talk, asked them to mention one lie told to them in 5 years, and then begin to look like fools. People were adult minds. Again, envy consumes them. Why should he be presidential spokesman? Why can't I be? Does he have two heads? Why should he be why should he be earning that fat pay? Very fat pay indeed, as fat as Super D of Africa, and I'm not the one earning it. Why should he live in government quarters, ride official cars, fueled and serviced by government? How I wish it happened, and generally be impervious to the hardship in this town. Envy turns to malice and they get consumed by evil. Again, in my case, they say, why is he so loyal to his boss? Why is he not joining us to malign and hate him? Yes, I love President Buhari, and I've done so since 1984 when he became military head of state until China joins to Africa. I will love him. The strongest man in the world is he who stands most alone. Ibesun wrote in Enemy of the People. Yes, millions of people love President Buhari passionately, but in the unlikely event that the number will dwindle to 10 or less, count me in the number of those that remain. Whether I serve in government or not, Buhari is my man. That's why I wear my best trousers to serve him. Though Ibesun wrote that you should never wear your best trousers when you go out to fight for freedom and truth, I am wearing mine. Some people want me to join them to hate the president. It will never happen. Not in this world or the next. I have picked my own hero. Let them pick theirs. So they try to bring me down, but the more they try, the higher they see me on the mountaintop. In my first month as special advisor to the president, Sultan Mohammed Saad Abubakar of Sokoto had come to the presidential villa. I had known him long before then, and he calls me Kuli Kuli, which is my email address, which I do chosen for some comic relief. The Sultan said on that day, Kuli Kuli, you have come to do a most difficult job, a thankless job. See what happened to those before you. That is the way people will want you to end. But if the work was thankless for others, for you, it won't be so. The Sultan was prophesying, and I said a resounding amen, thanking him, and I left. I have not forgotten the encounter and sure won't. So, for all those trying to bring me down, to make me an enemy of the people, are you not striving in vain? For who Jah bless, no man can cause, sang Bob Marley. The food seller can only eye a toad hopping by. The toad can never end in her support. For the fake journalists and all those who share this evil report, that person who doctored the Chinese TV interview to generate hate, all those are besieging me with virulent phone calls and text messages. I can only say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, Adeshina has spoken. We have heard it all. Let's meet in our comment section. All of a sudden, Adeshina now is so prophetic and so really